Life doesn't break the strongest person. It breaks the one who has no clear goal. Because when your mind has no direction, it chases everything and achieves nothing. David was that person. He wanted success, freedom, and recognition, but his mind was scattered. One week he'd start working out. The next he'd stop. One month he'd start a business. The next he'd quit. He was always moving, but never progressing. The truth is, most people live like David. They confuse activity with productivity. They want everything but end up with nothing. And that's the danger of an undisciplined mind. A mind without discipline is like a wild horse. It runs in every direction, but it never carries you to your destination. That David's life began to feel like quicksand. Every step he took seemed to sink him deeper instead of moving him forward. He worked hard, but at the end of each month, there was nothing to show for it. His friends were advancing in their careers, starting businesses, buying their first cars and homes, while David was still stuck at the starting line. Every scroll through social media felt like another knife in the heart. He saw people his age celebrating milestones while he was drowning in self-doubt. He would look in the mirror late at night and whisper, "Why not me? I work hard too. I try, but nothing works." But deep down, he knew the truth. He wasn't failing because he wasn't talented. He was failing because he wasn't focused. His problem wasn't effort, it was direction. He poured energy everywhere, but nowhere with consistency. And that realization hurt. He was tired of starting and stopping, tired of chasing 100 dreams without finishing even one. He felt like he was living on repeat. Different days, same story. No growth, no progress, just a heavy weight of regret pressing down on his chest. That was his breaking point. It wasn't a loud moment. It wasn't dramatic. It was quiet, painful, and honest. Sitting alone in his room, David felt something shift inside him. He realized that if he didn't take control of his mind would control him. If he didn't give himself one clear goal, he would waste years chasing nothing. And that night, for the first time, he whispered to himself, "Enough is enough. I'm done living like this. Something has to change." Not long after, David met an older man who would become his mentor. This man wasn't born rich, wasn't born lucky. He had built everything with discipline and grit. David admired his calm strength, the way he spoke with clarity, the way his life seemed ordered and purposeful. One evening, while David was venting about his failures, the mentor stopped him and said, "Your life isn't hard because you lack talent. It's hard because you lack discipline. Without a clear goal, your talent means nothing." Those words cut deep. For years, David had been blaming life, luck, even other people for his failures. But in that moment, he saw the truth. The problem wasn't outside of him, it was inside. His own mind had betrayed him by chasing distractions. His emotions controlled his actions instead of his vision. The mentor continued, "Discipline isn't about making life harder. It's about making life clearer. When your mind is disciplined, the world stops feeling overwhelming. You see your path. You know your direction. That's when success begins." That night, David went home and did something he had never done before. He took a blank sheet of paper and wrote down one goal: to build his own digital business. Just one. He promised himself no more half-finished projects, no more chasing every shiny idea, no more excuses. From that night forward, his mind would serve his goal, not his emotions. The next morning, David started his new journey. And for the first time, he didn't quit after a week. He disciplined his mind to focus only on what mattered. He stopped scrolling endlessly on his phone. He stopped comparing himself to people online. He said no to distractions, no to parties, no to empty conversations. Every day, he reminded himself of his one goal. Every action either moved him closer or further away. And if it didn't help him grow, he cut it out. But it wasn't easy. Discipline never is. There were days when he wanted to give up, when his body screamed for rest, when his mind begged for comfort. But every time that voice appeared, he answered with a simple truth. Discipline is choosing what you want most over what you want now. Weeks turned into months. His habits transformed. His focus sharpened. His business grew slowly at first, then faster. And with every small win, his confidence grew. The boy who once doubted himself now walked with fire in his eyes. Eventually, the same people who once laughed at David's inconsistency began asking him for advice. The man who once scattered his energy everywhere had become someone unstoppable, all because he disciplined his mind around one clear goal. And that's the lesson for you. Discipline is not punishment. It's freedom. The person who cannot control their mind will always be a prisoner of their emotions. But the one who trains their mind becomes a master of their destiny. Think about it. The greatest athletes, the most successful entrepreneurs, the legends of history, all of them had one thing in common. They disciplined their minds around a clear vision. They didn't chase everything. They chased one thing until it became real. So if you feel stuck, if you feel like life is passing you by, stop scattering your energy. Choose one clear goal. Commit to it with your entire being. Train your mind to serve it, not your feelings. Because once your mind is disciplined and your goal is clear, nothing, no distraction, no fear, no failure can stop you. Remember this. A clear goal gives your mind purpose. Discipline gives your mind power. Together, they make you unstoppable.